Alright, so I somehow managed to get top 4 with this degenerate gameplay. I played pure Runick, which is pretty funny, against a lot of tier today. So at the OTS Championship, quick rundown, he has my phone. I played 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8 rounds. Out of those 8 rounds, 3 of those rounds were non-tier. Everything else was tier. I won pretty much every single one except for top 4, 3rd and 4th place cut, and another tier matchup in a random round. It was pretty easy. The basic thing that the deck is tier cannot fundamentally break a mine without having to summon 2 monsters. So it's a lot easier to go ahead and get it done. And if you establish anything else, the deck pretty much wins. Enough with the boring stuff. Let's get to the deck profile. I ran 2 Astral Karibo. This is the one thing that I wish I ran more of. This is so good in the deck because it lets you drop a Crooked Cook, and if you establish Crook with Mine, they either have to deal with the Cook or the Mine, because if they don't deal with the Cook and they deal with the Mine, you can just clear the board with the Cook, and then now you have an unkillable Cook. Or if they deal with the Cook and not the Mine, now they have to deal with the Mine, and you normally have the back row protection for pretty much everything. And because this deck has a really, really bad time going second against the Ishizu stuff, I teched really heavily into making sure that my combos or plays, which isn't really much combos, would establish without anything being hit, and the best way to do that was the Amanos. Amano Awato is the best way to do so. There's 2 things that you can do with this. You can lock yourself with this in a mine, and then if they out the mine, they have to out the Amano. If they out the Amano, they have to out the mine. And that's the fundamentality of this deck. Was mine is such a win con with this deck because your entire goal for the game is to deck them out. Just sticking a mine and then stopping them from killing it pretty much wins you the game every time. Obviously, Mystic Mine, Metaverse, Terraforming, 3 Demise of the Land. Obviously, you need to have 9 mines. Why could you just have 3? And then again, most variants were running the Baron. So I wanted a way to go ahead and deal with a Baron if I was going second, and this was the best way to do so. I thought about main decking the Evenlies, which honestly might have been the better option. If I main decked the Evenly or just replaced it with the 3rd Astral Karibo and took these and put these on the side, it would have been a lot more consistent, but this was still just really good. After you established mine, it's a really bad draw. It's really dead. So I don't know if I'm going to keep this in the main, but honestly, this was still really powerful because I did not win a lot of die rolls today, and this let me establish my board, which is a lot less to establish, but establishing it wins games because there is a small combo if you play going second against tier, and then 3 judgments because you stick mine. And then for the Runick stuff, 3 Fountain, 1 Allure, Droplet, 1 Dispelling. I hate this. This is the worst one of the deck. Like, even Droplet, like, is so much better because it's 5 cards deep instead of this, which is always just a name. They are never adding cards off of their deck, off of Dispelling. This is literally just a name. It's just a summon. And honestly, I've considered just completely cutting it. It's not even good. 2 Thor's Hammer. I was originally running 3. I want to run 3. I should have ran 3. This card's insane. 3 Tip. Rhoda. Flashing Fire. Curses. Destruction, Slumber. You're running 3 Slumber because if you stick a mono mine, it lets you save the mono for as long as possible. Extra deck, we're going to go through the important stuff first. The 20 mass tokens. Can't run any more, can't run any less, I promise you. We got 3 Hugin, 3 Munin, 3 Gary, and 3 Frecky. You never need any all of this ever. If you're running through all 12, then you are obviously not playing the deck right. But Frecky's really good because it lets you... so the combo with the deck, if you're going second, is if you draw multiple Runick spells of different names, you can go straight into battle phase and they think you're running evenly. And if you have this, and let's say a fountain, you can force both of their shufflers before you do anything. So you activate the fountain, enter battle, activate, and then you summon Gary. If they milled the fountain, you can Gary target another fountain, and then fountain target 3 names, and it forces both their shufflers. Otherwise, you're either getting a draw 3 or the fountain back. You swing the Gary into their back row, pop their back row because it's normally Celiac, and then you use this one to summon Frecky. Frecky gets you your 3rd name, and then the 3rd name will actually be your defensive card after you establish mine. Other than that, I ran 1 Fortune Tune, 1 Crooked Cook, and 1 Baguska. The logic was if somehow I managed to run through all my Garys, because in theory you can do that. I don't know why you would do that, but in theory if you ran through all your Garys, you can run the Fortune Tune. And the Fortune Tune against specifically Tyr, unless they're running Underworld Goddess, this is unkillable. With the Astral Karibo makes it indestructible by card effects or battle, and this cannot be targeted fundamentally. And every single turn you're gaining 500 life points. So every single turn you're just gaining, and they can't kill it. Crooked Cook is the same logic. And Baguska was just because I wanted another rank 4. Honestly, the extra deck really doesn't matter. The only time that it matters is Crooked Cook, Hugin, Gary, maybe Frecky. You barely ever go into Munin unless you're going into time, which I never did because I 2-0'd everybody that I won against and got 1-2'd by everybody else. Except for my friend Kyler. I got 0-2'd game 1. I made a huge misplay. I activated Judgment on Paralino even though I had a Hugin face up. And he just top-decked Heartbeat a turn or 2 later and I lost. And game 2, it was a very similar situation, but I know that both games I had lost specifically to myself. And then in top 4, I lost again to myself. I activated Demise of the Land, and I was so tired. I activated Runick Fountain instead of Mystic Mine. I had 3 Omni-Negates face down for spell traps, and he had Smashers and Cosmic Cyclone in hand. And I had enough to get everything clear and still win the game. So it was my fault by far for me not getting into the semifinals, if not finals. This deck was completely built for Tyr, and it won pretty much every single time against Tyr. Side deck, Sisters, never went into time, never needed it. Lava Golem, never used it, never needed it. Honestly, this is the one card I think I might side out, take out of the side because this never comes up. I'm holding it in case I face against that one Tyr player that is playing that old Spell Canceller combo. Because if they do, then the deck has no way of outing it other than normal summon a mono. So this deals with it forever. And then still teching against tier Soul Drain. This wins every single time, anytime, because if you flip Soul Drain, you get to resolve your fountain, you get to resolve all of your names. It is just a free win con. And then the two most side cards in the deck, Evenly and Curse Sealed. Going into game 2, I would side out the Dark Rulers, I would side out the Astral Karibos, I would side out one of the protection spells and a field spell, one of the protection spells or a field spell for the Evenlies and the Curse Sealeds, just because if I'm going second, I know for a fact I can crack boards, and this just stops every type of spell trap removal. Otherwise, I don't know how I got that far. I think it's just because this deck is so good against tier, because it does exactly what tier doesn't want, and that is create an unbreakable board that the deck can't push through. If they really, really want to go ahead and counter it, there is 2 cards that I specifically ran Astral Karibo for. Spell Canceller, and the second one is Magic Deflector, because I cannot play against Magic Deflector in this deck in the slightest, because, unless I have 2 Solemn Judgments, I am losing every single time. Otherwise, it was a very fun tournament. I don't know what to say. This is just one of my favorite decks now. I just love Runick. It's just really fun to play. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Bye.